Welcome back to a Tuesday. We're still here on the campus of Renovation Church. We're having Reclaiming Families weekends happening as we speak. Talk to me about the power of prayers that fuels this weekend.
So one of the things that I hope you guys realize this, and that is this: the staff spends significant amounts of time praying for RF, for the family members, for the sessions. We're prayerful about what we do on Saturdays and who gets a session and what kinds of sessions, and even passes. None of that's cookie cuttered. None of that is perfunctory. None of that is just checklist. We really prayerfully ask for God's guidance. And so it's interesting to me when I look at the staff and how they labor prayerfully over really recognizing God's going to do a work here this weekend. God's going to do the life change. But we have got to reach out to God and just beg God and ask God to help. And so the staff really prays. But the other thing I wanted to say about prayer is this, and you guys know this because you've seen the emails from me, but I send out an email every single Reclaiming Families to everyone who's ever been to a Reclaiming Families weekend before. So every alumni, every mom and dad, every wife,
Wow.
I didn't know that. Everyone. And I ask you guys to pray, because I believe with all of my heart that it is the power of prayer that really opens up the opportunity for God to work, that opens up the opportunity to give whoever's teaching those words to say, and to give who's ever listening those ears to hear. I believe it's God himself that opens up the heart and the mind of the therapist as they're planning out individual sessions and passes and what are we going to do with this and what are we going to do with that. I believe it's God himself that helps guide what intro is going to be done by each of the clients tonight. And God's presence and God's power is so important for Reclaiming Families Weekend that I reach out and ask all of you guys to pray, because I believe that without prayer and without God's power and presence here this weekend, we won't be able to accomplish what God wants to accomplish. So be on the lookout for those emails from me. Maybe you've just achieved and so you haven't even gotten one yet. But be on the lookout, because when those emails come, I send those because I desperately want you to pray, because I desperately know how dependent our team is on God for Reclaiming Families to be all that it needs to be. So prayer, literally I can stand in front of the families, and I do this on Friday morning, and I say to them, literally hundreds of people who were right where you were at are praying for you this very moment. So thank you. If you prayed for this RF, thank you so very much. Know I am grateful. And know prayer is important to this weekend.
And as powerful as Troy's message just was to you all, think about the power of prayer in your own life. The same principle applies to your Saturday. It applies to your Monday. We need God in our lives, and he gives us access to him through this thing called prayer. And the more we ask, seek, and knock, the more we can have him involved in our lives. So if we can pray for you in return, that's the least we could do for you praying for us. Let us know, and we'll be sure to do that for you. Thanks.
See you guys next tomorrow.
Next tomorrow. What's the next tomorrow?
Well, it's the day after today.